Years old, and he was asked to stand in for Andrea Bocelli at the Grammy Awards, and he hasn't looked back since. Now, he sang for us earlier. Will you please welcome back Mr. Josh Groban? Come along, Josh, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Paul. It's great to be here.
Oh, no, Listen, you're in the middle of a world tour.
Yes.
Yeah. Where have you been so far?
Oh, we've been, this tour has been going on now for about 5 months, and it'll take us for the next year.
Yeah.
At the moment, we're just on a European tour, which has taken us from Iceland to here at the moment.
Yeah.
There you
Iceland.
go.
No, I didn't do dog sledging there, but I did have a nice time, and the drink's really expensive.
Oh, she's off
yeah.
It's so expensive. You can eat cormorant, but you can't get a pint of beer.
I know. It's ridiculous. I didn't have any days off for dog sledding, unfortunately.
So, have you got any dates coming up in England at all?
Yeah, I'm playing the Hampton Court Festival, which I'm really excited about. Huge lineup of just great people that are performing this summer, and so I'm really honored to be part of that.
Do you like touring?
I do. I didn't know if I would like it, just because you're on a tour bus and you wake up to a new city every day and you see the world through a hotel window, and it's very isolated, and it takes its toll. You have to be really disciplined, but I love the travel. I mean, it's the greatest gift that this business can give me, is the fact that I get to travel around, and so and it's new audiences every night, and it's so much fun for all of us.
But it's quite lonely. I found it when I took quite lonely. You're in the dressing room on your own. I used to get sort of fret.
It is lonely. It is really, really lonely. And I'm friends with my band, and I bring friends out, and I have my dog with me.
Oh, you've got your dog.
Yeah, so I know how important that is. And he keeps me company. So but when you're a solo artist, you live kind of a solo life, and so it's important to meet as many people as you can.
Yeah. Now, Josh, you've worked with Miss Streisand, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
Now, I've got me tickets. I've sold a kidney to buy this tickets. Actually, it wasn't mine, it was a friend's. But doesn't even know.
Same diff, yeah.
What's she like, actually, to work with?
I was so nervous, because at the time that I did the duet with her, we recorded for her duets album, and I was 21 years old, and you just try to soak it up like a sponge. You just try to take as much as you can from her as possible. And she was so nice. She didn't have to do the song with me, and she did. And you want to talk about somebody who's broken all the rules in all the right ways. And so it was wonderful. I was expecting, you go in expecting the worst. You go in expecting, oh, it'll just be a 5-minute thing. You'll shake hands and it'll be done. And she gave me the best. We got to sit and talk and go over the mix together and really sing a lot together. So she's been a friend ever since.
Well, that's nice to hear, isn't it? Because technically, she must be a genius, is she? The way
she's a perfectionist. I mean, she will. Her phrasing is so impeccable, and she will go over a line 100 times just to make sure it's the right way. She rehearses everything so much, and that's why she's always so perfect.
Yeah. You've got an incredible voice, though. I mean, when did you first realise that you could sing?
Well, I mean, growing up in Los Angeles, much like London, it's a melting pot of cultural activity. My parents were very cool in making sure I got to go see everything. And I would come home after a concert, and I'd say, oh, remember that song? And oh, that's okay. That's something. Maybe we should look at that. And so they gave me voice lessons, and I was always a musical kid. I was always playing piano and playing drums and singing and stuff. So I didn't get seriously into singing until I was maybe 16 years old.
Oh, really?
And I was discovered at 17, so it's been a pretty steep learning curve.
Yeah. Where were you discovered?
I was discovered through a voice teacher that I was working with in L.A. My producer, David Foster, needed somebody spur of the moment and said, who have you got who's young, who knows the song? And I kind of came in. They had to take me out of high school for a day. And it was to perform for the governor's inauguration in California, and it was for.
Oh, sorry, I'm just laughing because I was thinking, what was I doing at 17? Oh, right. I think I was deciding which boyfriend I was going to have, and then not getting them, of course.
Well, I was, but when I came back to school, it was very much, back to earth. I had gone to this incredible thing, and there were like 20,000 people, and I had to kind of explain to all my friends what it was like. But then I never expected anything to happen after that, and then he called me 2 weeks later for this Grammy rehearsal with Celine, and. A lot of people were there at that, and it just kind of started rolling from there. We started writing music, and it just kind of happened. But that was about 5 or 6 years ago now.
Well, this new album's cracking. This has been on all weekend. We've been playing. No, really. And it's like I was noticing you've recorded some of it here in England.
I recorded at least half of the album here. Yeah. There are so many extraordinary musicians here and so many wonderful producers here that I wanted to work with. Guy Sigsworth, Marius DeVries, who we wrote a couple songs, Imogen Heap, who's an incredible electronica artist. So it's nice to get out of your bubble every now and then. It's nice for me. LA is such a kind of enclosed world. So I've made so many friends this side of the ocean.
And presumably you like the food.
And the food's nice, yeah. And it's much easier to get a beer.
So easy.
Yeah.
We're not all mad on booze, you know, Josh. I mean, take no notice of this son on the end of the sofa. I'm worried about you, Penny, these days.
I hardly drink at all, for goodness sake.
Last time I saw you in Venice, I had to fish you out the canal.
That's true. It was a celebration.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Was it a dream come true, working with Ladysmith Black Mambazo?
Yes, sir, it was, yes. I mean, they're one of the most beautiful, brilliant a cappella South African vocal groups to ever exist. And I had first heard them on the Graceland Paul Simon CD. And, you know, they were kind of my first experience of hearing a language that I didn't understand, but still feeling it and still feeling the emotion of it. And here, you know, 20 years after I'd heard that CD for the first time, it was so thrilling it was inspired by a trip that I took to South Africa. We went to an orphanage in an area called Soweto that's very much in the ghetto of South Africa. And I was so moved by that experience and meeting Mandela and that whole situation that I got with my friend Dave Matthews from the Dave Matthews Band, and we wrote this song together to do a cappella with Ladysmith Black Mambazo. And I was all ready to go to South Africa and meet them and work with them. They were on tour in New York, so we met in New York and we recorded the song. But just to be in the room with them again and to hear those voices, they sound just as crystal clear as they did 20 years ago. And it was different for me because having kind of a bit of a classical training, it was very cool for me to get in with all these African musicians and really try something a little bit out of my comfort zone.
You're singing quite a lot. I mean, singing Spanish and Italian on this. Can you speak Spanish and Italian?
Not fluently. No.
So,
I took Japanese in high school. When I came back from that trip with David Foster, I went back to Japanese class. But no, I started the Spanish and Italian through the classical voice training. And I love the musicality of those languages.
Yeah.
And I found that...
Oh, Italian, yeah.
That it's just so... It's very vowel-oriented. It's great to sing in. And much like when I had that experience listening to Ladysmith Black Mambazo for the first time, it's so fun for me to get people from America or from England to come up to me and say, oh, I didn't really understand everything you were saying, but I felt it. Somehow I understood what you meant. And it seems much more rewarding for me to do the homework, learn what it means, and sing it in the musical language rather than to translate it back into English just because it's my first language. But I love it.
Yeah.